Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you'll be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. This Sunday, we will be live watching we're going to have a party for the Superb Owl over there. Something about a big game is happening on Sunday.
Correct.
And we're going to have a little watch party. Watch along with us. We haven't even asked. Is the enforcer going to be there? Do we even know?
I don't know. He might be in chat right now. We're gonna finally celebrate reaching 1,000 subs. Whenever we did it, like a month ago, by ingesting some peanuts that are pretty hot, death nuts they're called, and so we'll be doing that, seeing who can take the heat, watching some Superb Owl, and hopefully have a good time with everybody.
That's right. That's happening this Sunday.
Kickoff's usually like 3:15 Pacific, so 3:15.
Trying to come up with a more clever name of saying kickoff, but
the first boot.
That's good. The first boot. It's around 3, right? 3:30.
Yeah, 3:15, like 3:18, I think.
Yeah, it's weird. It's always weird. It's like 3:18 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So that's out of the way. AEW Beach Break. So Enforcer did clarify he's going to be there for the party, the Superb Owl, and I'm also going to ask him to cover me for Raw on Monday because it's Bama's birthday. If he can't do it, then I'll just make the intern do it. So, anyways, Beach Break. Holy crap! Let's
finish. Let's talk Kenta.
Let's talk Kenta.
This is something that we've talked about happening for about 2 months now.
Uh-huh.
Thought maybe it might even happen as far back as Winter is Coming, potentially, as a way to cover Mox taking that L to Kenny in the title match. Didn't happen then. Instead, we got the Don Callis storyline, that Kenny going to Impact, which has all been great so far. But now Kenta showed up in AEW night, attacked Mox after the main event, wearing his Bullet Club shirt. Not much of an interaction with Kenny on the show. They did a thing backstage or in the parking lot. They posted on Twitter. You should definitely watch it, where Kenny's like, "Hey, brother Kenta, brother Switchblade didn't tell me you were coming over here. How's it going, friend?"
Okay, I want to play Kenta.
All right.
Yeah. Fuck you. You're not my brother.
Yeah.
And they basically
I came here to beat up John Moxley. That's all he says, and he leaves.
He said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
That's Kenny. And then Kenny. Let me ask you something, Larson. Let me ask you something. If you go up to a dude and you're like, "Hey, brother, how's it going? Too sweet me." And he just laughs at you, and then he says, "Hey, shut the fuck up." And then he walks out on you. Would you then get in your head that, man, I should really partner up with that guy next week and have a match with him?
If I think he can do something for me, then yes. You don't take that kind of stuff personally if you think that person can help you in your larger goals. Kenny wants John Moxley beat up. So if they have a match at a Revolution, Mox is softened up. That's what he wants.
Yeah, man.
He's not worried about having his feelings hurt by Kenta. He wants Kenta to hurt Mox. I would not be surprised to see Kenny Omega show up on New Japan's the New Beginning in the USA during that U.S. title match and screw John Moxley.
Ooh, that could be.
There's
all sorts of stuff going on, man. I watched. I did it, man. I pulled the trigger. I watched that episode of Strong, so I'm watching Strong now. I really like Strong. I mean, it's straight up just their version of NXT, and I think your supposition that the U.S. title is going to be their Strong main title, that totally seems like it's going to be the case.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Leo Rush is there, TJP is there. Was it Darren Young is there? They got a bunch, and then you get all these great young lions. You get to see what's going on there.
Carl Frederick's hurt, I think. Has he been on? Was he on the episode you watched? I thought he was hurt or something.
I think he was on like they did like a little skit in their apartment.
Okay.
I
He's
saw
really good.
Clark Connors wrestle. Clark Connors is really good. So yeah, it's fun.
Is driving me crazy too.
And then what was his name? The Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson,
Yeah.
was on an episode too.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. He's
Brody
absolutely
King.
terrific.
Brody King wrestles.
Brody King is amazing. Yeah, he's great. He wasn't on the episode I saw, but he's great.
So
yeah,
Well,
I've been
good talent
checking out
there.
that. I tried to watch
Anyways.
Ring of Honor today, so I tried to do that.
All right,
So-
very well. Let's talk Kenta. Let's talk great stuff. Kenta. So Kenta showing up in AEW. Kenta's great. So February 26th, that's in about 3 weeks' time. His match against Mox for that U.S. title. I mean, I would be shocked beyond belief if Mox walked out still champion. Kenta's going to get that belt. Is Kenny going to help him? What does that mean for Bullet Club? Like we talked about this bit before we got started, is that ever since this whole thing kickstarted, where Kenny and the Good Brothers have pretty much been calling themselves Bullet Club at Hard to Kill. They were all wearing Bullet Club gear.
Yeah, Kenny had the Halloween Bullet Club shirt
Yeah.
on. That was hilarious.
So it gets your mind to spinning about the potentials of what they could do. Of course, we never got that blow off between Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and those guys against the Elite. When the Elite left, were they going to tell a story of them rebuilding those bridges and getting back together, finally finishing that storyline? Or is it more a situation where Kenny is like, okay, there are goals I want to accomplish. Me recruiting the Good Brothers to be by my side, get the band back together is going to help me accomplish those goals. But once those goals are completed, I'll cast them off and not really worry about Bullet Club for life stuff anymore. It remains to be seen which direction they take this story. If Bullet Club as a group, as a totality, is even evolved beyond just Kenny trying to butter them up to achieve his own ends and them telling him to fuck off. Who knows?
Well, there's a couple things involved. Number one, there's the reality of the world that it's difficult for them to go to and from Japan. So it seems like right now, I mean, I mentioned this before we started rolling, but I'm glad you bring this up here during the stream. It seems like the reaction from Bullet Club proper in Japan has so far been, what the hell are these guys even doing? Jay White shows up. He returns after saying, I had self-doubt for about 10 minutes, and I went away to see, who I need to deal with. Ishii had my number in the G1, therefore I'm coming after him. That's where it all got started. And so I'm coming, that's why he attacked him. And he said, but I'm not back as if this is some cheesy Bullet Club reunion meant to sell T-shirts. So he's throwing shots at Kenny. Tama Tonga has been throwing shots at Kenny this whole time. And what they're doing as a group right now is a lot different. I mean, if you take Dick Togo, clowning it up over there in New Japan, generally speaking, what they're doing over there is a lot more serious than, Doc Gallo swinging his belt around like it's his dick. And Kenny Omega acting like sort of, a prima donna with his silly shirts and stuff like that. It's just a different thing. So no, I think exactly what you're saying is right. I think Kenta has his goal. He's representing a certain thing. He wants nothing to do with Kenny. He'll take this match to soften up Mox to further his goals. It helps out Kenny and his goals, which is all just beat up John Moxley, which is, of course, the Good Brothers, what they love to do as well. But no, it does make an interesting dynamic. And I do wonder if behind the scenes, this might be, stepping a toe in the water, see what it feels like, for these two companies. It benefits everybody right now. Maybe when, the travel restrictions aren't as harsh and there can be a freer flow of talent, maybe we will see something that we all want to see, like Kenny and Kota Ibushi, interact a bit more.
In the Tokyo Dome, yeah, totally.
At the that's all we all want to see anyways.
Totally.
I mean, these are all, great questions, and it's doing nothing but good things, I think, for both companies. I know I definitely popped when I saw Kenta, and I saw Twitter explode too. So there was that, and then there was also some other news from Japan tonight. We also got the Japanese side, the bracket for the women's tournament.
Yes.
And there were some interesting names there, one of which really seemed to pop my Twitter feed, which was Maki Ito, who just seems to be a star over there. And I'm really looking forward to this because there's some names that I recognize, there's some names that I don't.
Yes.
And I've been trying to educate myself a bit more on this stuff by attending the Church of Joshi every Sunday morning, have my coffee. But I'm looking forward to this as well. This is one of the things that I really was looking forward to with AEW was they were looking to Japan, they were looking to China for stars that people hadn't heard of, but they knew of that would be, really impressive. And so this is the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to. They really weren't able to fulfill that promise much. A lot, mainly, I think, because of COVID stuff and travel restrictions. But I'm really looking forward to this, dude.
Yeah, me too. Otherwise, Dynamite as a whole, I thought it was bookended by two really fun matches. The tag team battle royal that kicked off the show was a lot of fun. The main event was outstanding. In between, some good stuff. The wedding segment, not that great. Britt versus Thunder Rosa was a lot of fun. Gave it a lot of time. They hit some story beats that led things in some general direction. Actually, it's pretty much just the Kip and Penelope wedding thing. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, that was kind of bunk. But I like the inner circle stuff. The Hangman Page stuff is sort of like whatever, but I understand that he's on a journey right now. And then the Archer Kingston stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. It was just, I think the wedding thing was so hyped and it was so silly and it was so like memorable that it made the episode seem like a bit more of a drag than it actually was, because everything else is actually pretty darn good about it.
Yeah.
It kicked off with that tag team battle royal. There was a lot going on here, so I'll let you take the reins, Colin, how this match went down.
Oh, so first off, we got a Sammy Hager Matt Chat question where he's cheering on Sammy Hager.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So gotta get that in there. So the Young Bucks, they get introduced last. They take out the field with a couple dives off the stage. They go on a run to start. A huge hockey fight breaks out in the ring. Then the eliminations begin. Dante Martin, one half of Top Flight, eliminated by Mark Quinn. And then Hager eliminates Reynolds, and Stu Grayson goes like, I don't understand the thought process, because if he'd hit this, he would eliminate himself too. Stu Grayson goes for a sunset flip powerbomb on Hager. Hager blocks, so Grayson is hanging on to Hager's thighs with his feet dangling in the air. He gets back on the apron. Uno and Silver eliminate Hager, and then Matt Jackson is backdropped into the stage. He's out. Bowens is tossed out by Jericho and MJF. Luchasaurus drops them with clothes on. He goes on a massive run until he chokeslams Stu out of the ring. Stu's eliminated, and then Uno and Silver dump Luchasaurus out, and then Uno hits some moves. MJF eliminates him. Darius Martin eliminates Mark Quinn in the middle of Private Party trying to hit Silly String. Santana and Ortiz, they just toss Silver out. Nick Jackson eliminates Santana and Ortiz, and then the Good Brothers show up ringside. And Nick's like talking to him on the apron.
Oh, so distracted.
It really is. And so he's in the midst of doing a bit with Isaiah Cassidy. Good Brothers low bridge Cassidy out. Nick turns around, is like, what are you guys doing? MJF dumps him out of the ring. So the Young Bucks don't win, therefore they won't get to select their opponents.
It was a great little bit with MJF and Jericho doing the Young Bucks pose too.
That was great.
Yeah.
Then MJF tosses Jungle Boy out. He and Sammy have a stare down. Max Caster gets in between them, starts hitting him with some shots, and he holds MJF for Sammy. Sammy looks for a super kick. MJF ducks, so instead he super kicks Caster. MJF pats Sammy on the face, and then Caster tosses MJF out. Darius Martin tosses out Caster, so the final three are Jericho, Sammy, Darius Martin. So Sammy and Jericho team up on Martin to start. He hits them both with DDT. Martin tries to toss Sammy. Sammy blocks it. Jericho looks to toss Martin, but instead he tosses Sammy out.
Yeah.
And then in the end, Jericho backdrops Martin onto the apron. Judas effect to knock him off. He's eliminated. Jericho and MJF win. They will get a title shot against the Young Bucks at Revolution.
Sammy was none too happy about that. He just sort of walks off. And we get more of that later. After that, we get a Jade Cargill video. Just working out. Throwing some weights around, man.
Yeah.
After that, Tony brings Darby. This is another clunker of a segment.
I feel like they need to mix up the presentation of these segments because they're all the same.
They're literally the exact same thing.
And they don't really advance much of anything. It's like, hey, Darby, Sting, you're doing this. Team Taz shows up with the Tron. They're upset. oh, just you wait till we get our hands on you, and then Sting will say something to try to punctuate some point, but it's just rinse and repeat from like 2 weeks ago.
Darby, he's a bystander here, man. That's what he is. I don't even think he had a word in, because Tony brought Darby down. He didn't say anything because immediately he brings Sting down. And then Tony announces that Darby has Joey Janela next week in a title defense of the TNT title. And then we get Team Taz outside, and they're like, hey, no, they won't let us in because we wrecked a bunch of people last week. And but next week, we got that title defense. You got it, and we're going to be there. And then Starks gets on the mic, and for somebody who's really, really good on the mic, like really good, Ricky Starks is going to be a huge star. Mark my words.
He's really good on the mic.
He's
really
going to be huge. He was so awkward. It was like his parents were like having sex in front of him or something, man. It was weird. He was so awkward in this. And he was like, he doesn't think Sting is the same guy he was in the past. He's not the icon, et cetera, et cetera. And then Sting, he says a bunch of, he just basically steals the show. I think he said something about it being Showtime again. So yeah, the segments are not.
They need to change up the dynamic of what's going on, because they're all presented the exact same way. You have Shivani in the ring. He introduces Sting because I guess they want him to say it's Sting every week.
I know, and Darby has been like I know, and it's like you would think they would kind of understand that it's like, dude, we don't want, like what Edge said today. I'm not comparing stuff, but it's just, he made a good point. He said, I don't want to come here and be a greatest hits guy. All right. Mm-hmm. And it's okay if Sting is there to be a greatest hits guy, but he had a lot of hits. You can mix it up a little bit week to week and have him do some different things.
Yeah. Why not have Joker Sting 1 week?
That's what I'm saying. Do the
out,
red, white, and blue thing.
Bring out the red Wolfpack face paint maybe 1 week. Just try it out again.
Do something new.
Be new.
Let Darby talk.
Yeah, I know. After that, there's really good Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa video package to hype their match, which was next. And this match was good. It was physical. I thought it had the right amount of clumsiness to make it seem real. It seemed like they were intense, that it was a real fight, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, dude, they got good chemistry in the ring. They let them go for a while, and I thought this was really good. So we don't know, like the matches that have been announced for Revolution. Like, I mean, I'm assuming these two might have a. I don't know. When
they're
like
the same
the
side. They're the same side of the bracket.
Okay.
For the tournament, so.
Like, is the tournament happening before or after Revolution's a month away?
The promo they had, it just said coming this February, so this month.
Oh, okay. So it's probably starting like next week or the week after that. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. But I doubt it'll be completed by the time Revolution happens, because it's 16 women in it. So that's 8 first-round matches, 4-2. So that's what 15 matches they got to have.
Oh, okay. All right.
And if they're going to air them all on Dynamite, which I hope they do.
They're not going to. I really doubt they're going to do that. They how many did they? I think they just aired the finals of the women's tag. So I mean, we'll probably get some on Dark. I mean, they could if they have 2 matches on Dynamite and 2 matches on Dark, every Dark and Dynamite between now and then.
You get the first round done in 2 weeks. Second round done in 1 week, and then the semis done in a week, and then the finals you could have.
Maybe
so. In theory, they could have it, but the other issue is for whoever wins the Japanese side of the bracket, they'll have to come over here in quarantine for a couple weeks before they have the finals.
Is that in terms of quarantining here? Is that like something that we're doing still?
Might be a state by state thing. I don't know. I mean, it's
in
Florida, so
baby.
Florida.
They could do whatever they want. It's probably wise to do that, though.
It would be wise to do that. Yes.
So, anyways, I'm sure this is not going to be the last we see of Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. They've got really good chemistry, and this is going to continue.
Yeah, very
because
good chemistry.
we had a shady finish here.
Yeah, we did. So a lot of great back and forth. Both of them working arms. Britt softened up Thunder Rosa for Lockjaw, and then Thunder Rosa softened up Britt's arm, so it makes it harder for her to put Lockjaw on. Towards the end, Thunder Rosa's got Britt in a submission move. The rest concerning himself with that. Reba gets in, takes the turnbuckle cover off, and Thunder Rosa notices that. Let's go to the hold to get her out of the ring. Thunder Rosa then backs Britt into the exposed turnbuckle, and then runs to the opposite corner, charges. Britt evades, sends Thunder Rosa head first into the exposed turnbuckle, then puts on lockjaw to get the win. The commentary is really pushing the idea that Thunder Rosa has already been knocked out from the shot. The turnbuckle. Doc Samson's in to check on Thunder Rosa while Britt and Reba take their leave.
Mm-hmm.
But a really fun, hard-hitting match. It was really good. They were on the floor forever doing all sorts of stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was good stuff. After that, we had earlier in the day, Matt Hardy recruiting Hangman Page for a tag match, and Hangman's like, "Dude, I don't want to sign your Carney contract. I don't want to deal with you. I'm not going to be in another tag team. It's not going to happen." And eventually, Matt Hardy says, "No, come on, it was one time." He's okay, one time, fine, one time. So we had that match next. It was Hangman Page and Matt Hardy versus the Chaos Project, Dr. Luther and Serpentico. And I don't get this, dude. If Matt Hardy, I know he's like a piece of crap and everything, kayfabe.
Yeah.
But even a piece of crap who's smart enough to con Private Party into a contract, if he's trying to, he's already got them under contract. So him tagging himself in to get the glory of a match makes sense. You can't do anything about it. You're under contract. He's trying to get Hangman to sign something with him to join him.
Just can't resist.
He can't help himself. Just tags himself in here.
Maybe we
at
don't
the
know
end.
this, but maybe in kayfabe, even tag matches, whoever actually scores the pin gets the larger share of the winner's purse. You know,
Could be. That could be.
So he is big money Matt.
Yeah, right.
He needs to live up to that name, get the larger share of the winnings.
Do you think he is so confident in his hucksterism, in his shysterism, in his ability to talk somebody that he thinks, hey, I'm going to get the win here, and then I'm still going to be able to sweet talk this guy into one of my big money Matt contracts?
Well, look how Page reacted. He was upset at first and was like, all right, I'll raise his hand. I'll give him that moment. And then when Hardy tries to hug him, he's like, no, get away.
Yeah.
So it's like Page is willing to give him the respect that of being Matt Hardy, but that's the extent of it.
All right. Well, we'll see if that. Something tells me that's not the last we've seen of this.
I think that's the case.
After that, we got the announcements for the American and Japanese sides of the women's tournament. On the American side, we've got Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, Riho, Ty Conti, Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, Anna Jay, and Layla Hirsch.
And on the Japanese side, we have Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, Vina, Emi Sakura, Riho, Mizunami,
Mei Saruga.
Mei Saruga, thank you. Rin Kadukura, Maki Ito. They are on the Japanese side of the bracket. I'm sorry if I messed up those names.
After that, we had MJF and Jericho coming through with the cooler. They're ready to celebrate. They run into Marvez, who tries to interview them. They just basically disrespect him and keep on walking. They go into the Inner Circle's room. Everybody else is sort of there with, hangdog looks. And they're like, come on, guys, this is a celebration. We're Inner Circle. We're all Inner Circle. We all won. Sammy's kind of pissed, and he was like, what about us? Like, we got eliminated. The LAX, they got eliminated. And he's like, no, it's collateral damage, man, but we all win, And he's like, why is it that we're always a collateral damage? And you always say that we're in this together, but I think you're just in this together. And then he leaves. Jericho goes to follow him to try to, talk to him. MJF then has Wardlow kick the camera guy out of the room, and he says, listen, guys, I think it's time we have a talk. So, see what that talk is
he
all
said
about.
it in a very serious tone, too. It's
All right,
guys, I think it's time we talk.
Time to unveil his grand plan.
Yeah, maybe. After that, Tony interviews Kip and Miro. Kip says Tony is lucky to get this interview. Miro says Miro says, hey, I'm married. Kip's now going to be married soon. We're part of a club. Chuck, he's never had a girlfriend. And then Vicky Guerrero walks in. She says, it's time. The wedding, the nuptials begin. You have a minister. No, the sinister minister, James Mitchell, as the officiant. Apparently that's his new thing. It's officiating wrestling weddings. Of course, he did the Impact wedding not that long ago. So Kip and Miro out to the ring first. Penelope next. She's being walked to the ring by Jerry Lynn. Mitchell begins the ceremony. Kip starts with his vows. Ford is next. She's about to pretty much say that Kip is large in the front area. Kip interrupts. Says we don't need to talk about that. Mitchell says it's time to exchange the rings. Chuck hands the ring to Miro. Miro then hands it to Mitchell. He does the ring part of the ceremony. Favorite part, though, is when he said, kayfabe all others.
You know, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, this reminds me of an Impact wedding. That's why I'm thinking this right now. Yeah, it was pretty. I think he did. Did he do the? Did he just do the Impact wedding they had? The one with the?
Yeah, he did.
He did the Johnny Bravo, right? Yeah,
Johnny Bravo one. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter that he did that.
Okay.
So, anyways, they say their I do's, and he said he's about to get to the point where it's like, hey, before we move the wedding forward, if anybody here feels that these two should not be wedded, and Miro interrupts, goes, no, we're not asking that question. That's enough of that. Let's move on.
I've been here before, and in fact, he was wearing the same outfit that he wore at his Raw wedding.
Yeah. When Roman told him, put that beef away. So Mitchell says, let's close the deal. He pronounces them man and wife. Kip, Penelope start kissing. Miro says, it's time for a toast and newlyweds. He tells Chuck to give champagne to everybody. He says, well, Chuck, you're working. I'm going to drink yours. And then he tells Kip that he was there. He knows how it feels to get married. It's all about love. But what is love? And he says, I might not have given you the best bachelor party or given you a gift, but your present for you, my present for you is actually me, my power, my dominance. And then Miro says, but what is that giant present over there?
It's bugging the hell out of me.
And it's like, Chuck's like, it's from me. Oh, it's from you. Miro charges it, basically shoulder tackles it, and starts beating the box up. It's an empty box. There's no one in there.
He thinks there's somebody in there.
Yeah, it's about the size of a person.
Big enough for a person.
So Miro tells Chuck to go clean it up. Doesn't want to see more of his presence. So Miro's starting to resume his speech. Again, he says, what is love? The crowd starts singing that song. He joins in, and he tells him to stop it.
Yeah, good thing, man. Yeah, at some point, you got to, if you sing that too much, you got to start paying some royalties.
It says, time for cake. He tries to walk, but he notices that his foot has been cuffed to the rope.
Uh-oh.
He can't walk. So then Chuck gets in. He hits Kip. Kip falls into Penelope 4. Penelope falls into the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So Kip's trying to get at Chuck. Chuck ducks. So Kip hits Miro. Miro is pissed off. Eventually, though, Kip does start beating down Chuck. Orange Cassidy emerges from the cake. Chuck hits Kip with like a tin platter, and the Cassidy follows with beach break to end the wedding.
Yeah, it was just silly.
Yeah,
it was just silly.
It was too long, and it wasn't. I don't know. Nothing really interesting happened.
Not really. There was no big twist. I was hoping Miro was going to turn on somebody. The thing that I did appreciate though is that he gave him as his presence Miro's power.
Yeah.
It's viciousness.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny, but otherwise it was just sort of, I don't know, kind of silly. Nobody got, I'm sorry, but just last month or 2 months ago, Impact had the exact same thing, but a guy got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not going to go to those lengths, why even do it? After that, we had a clip from Inside the NBA where Shaquille O'Neal, I guess at this point, officially challenged Cody to a match, and he demonstrated his new finisher, the Black Tornado, which is a really, really devastating and actually devastating-looking Judas effect.
Yeah.
He tested out on a partition of plexiglass. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him try that one on Cupcake Cody.
And then they announced the match was happening not March 7th at Revolution, but March 3rd on Dynamite.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
It's probably for the best. I mean, that's probably for the best. Yeah. It's a silly ratings. It's a silly ratings thing, I guess that you just want to put that on TV.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I guess, Shaq is a TNT star.
Exactly. Maybe the idea from a marketing standpoint is they have the match. You bring some casual fans, some people curious to see Shaq wrestle, to Dynamite on Wednesday. Maybe they like what they see. Oh, by the way, we got a pay-per-view this Sunday. Join us there.
Makes sense. After that, we had Archer versus Kingston in a lumberjack match. This was a lot of fun. My favorite part is towards the beginning when Archer kept on throwing Kingston out. At first, Kingston was like, no, I don't want to be out there. The second time he threw Kingston out into lumberjacks, Kingston just attacks the lumberjacks.
Yeah.
That's sort of a new twist.
It was Austin Gunn, wasn't it? Or was it Billy?
He attacks Austin Gunn, but then he just launches into the other lumberjacks and continues the fight. It was great. That resulted in a big brawl, and then Archer did the whole flip tope thing onto the whole crowd. Yeah, Archer has quickly become one of my favorites, dude. I love this guy. I think he's great.
He is great. Later on, for some reason, Jake, we didn't really see what precipitated this, but Jake knocks out Angelico ringside.
So Archer was on the outside, I think, at that point, and
Archer
Kingston,
was in the ring. Archer was in the ring. I thought
he got back in the ring.
Gotcha.
But he had just gone out, and Kingston instructed one of his lumberjack guys to go attack, and that's when Jake, I guess, made the save. That's what I got from it. And then Archer was in the ring all of a sudden, but I'm pretty sure it was when he went out and then came back in.
Because Archer got like hit in the back by, I think he was running the rope or something, and Archer got hit in the back by the Butcher.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that I saw him go out, and then that's when Kingston directed somebody.
There was somebody, like, they got tossed in and out of the ring so many times.
The TV direction wasn't great on this particular
No, it wasn't.
match either.
Eddie hits an exploder. Archer kicks out at one. Blade brings a table into the ring. And then a fella by the name of Bear Bronson gets in there and spears Blade through the table. And then the other guy, is Bear Country? Is their team name? The other,
man.
His partner.
Sure, you never heard of Bear Country before? Neither have I.
Yeah, he sends Butcher out. Archer hits an Uranagi on Eddie, gets a 2. Eddie goes for a back fist. Archer blocks it. Eddie hits Lariat and then goes up top. Archer clocks him. First tries for a choke slam. Eddie fends that off. Archer then hits Blackout to get the win.
There you go. Good stuff. After that, we had an FTR video. They're upset that they were not allowed to be in the Tag Team Battle Royal. Cash starts off saying, "Please tell me, Jack, please tell me you didn't go run into the principal's office and tattle on us." Tully says, "You know what? First I'm banned, then we're handcuffed, then we're barred from the Tag Battle Royal. We just want a shot at the tag team titles." And Dax says, "You know, Jack, we're not bad men, but, you know, we get to thinking to ourselves, what would bad men do in this situation?" And in off screen, you hear a guy go, and they kidnap the little kid, Marco Stunt. So I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him. That's terrifying. They kidnapped the guy.
Terrifying.
That's not going to get them in the gooder graces of Tony Khan.
No, not at all. I mean, Marco seemed terrified.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah, he should be. After that, they announced some matches for next week. We get Darby versus Joey Janela for the TNT title. Joey had a promo. He says says to Darby, "Hey, you and I have a history of mangling themselves and each other. Next week, stakes have been higher, never been higher. Joey's back. Future TNT champ is going to be a bad, bad boy." Also announced next week, the Acclaimed versus Jericho and MJF. And then Cody and Lee Johnson will be taking on Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi.
Oh, that's cool. Right on. And then we had our main event.
He was one of the Lumberjacks. He was one of the Lumberjacks tonight.
He was one of them. He was dressed in a very nice suit as Lumberjack as well. So, yeah, that brings us to our main event. We had Mox, Penta, and Pac versus
great match.
The Bullet Guys. And, yeah, this is, man.
I feel like this last month, the Good Brothers have been doing some of their best work probably since they left New Japan.
Yeah, they have been, because they're like, oh, wow. We get to that gun stun bit with Mox, when Carl Anderson went after Mox with a gun stun, and then Mox dropped him with a gun stun. I was like, oh, man, I love the gun stun.
Yeah. It's cutter.
It's just a cutter.
It's a cutter you run into. That's the only real difference.
It's a cutter that it has a really cool name, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So Kenny and the Good Brothers came out to a tune that sounded familiar, but also you definitely heard Doc Gallows saying his own name. And doing some other talking. I couldn't exactly hear everything he was saying, but I did hear him say his own name. Is this
a theme? Oh, maybe Chad knows. Is this a theme that is specific to the Good Brothers and Kenny? That's why they don't use deviled eggs?
So at first I thought, they gave Kenny a heel theme now. Cool. But then I heard Gallows. First it sounded kind of familiar. Then I heard Gallows talking. I was like, maybe this is their theme, or maybe something the Good Brothers have used.
Because they all came out together. Yeah, I don't know.
And Impact, all I've heard is the Deviled Egg song. Yeah. Anyway, this match was a ton of fun.
Yeah, dude. Anytime you get Fenix, Pac together in a match, is just gonna be and Kenny, it's gonna be a blast. But honestly, like Fenix, I don't know, man. Phoenix might be my favorite wrestler right now. God, I could just watch him all day long. I don't know why my note said Penta. That's weird. There we go. Well, I just fixed it on my notes, but all the notes that I sent out still says
Penta. You could confuse a lot of people who didn't watch the show and might not be watching the recap.
Wait a second. They didn't watch the show. They're not going to watch the recap.
But they still got your notes.
It's kind of like, fuck them then. I don't care. What do they care? This is beach break.
maybe
Why are
they're
they
like,
not going to be watching it?
Hold on. I mean, they read your notes like, oh, Penta wrestled. I really like Penta. I thought he was out. And they go and watch it. It's Fenix instead.
They get something even better. They get Fenix.
Yeah, Fenix is really good.
Yeah, I know.
Phoenix is really good. So we'll skip ahead. There's a lot of good stuff here. We could spend 15 minutes talking about it. We'll skip ahead to what happened after the commercial break. So Gallows is laying into Mox with some right hands. He looks for a power bomb. Mox sweeps his leg. He looks for a figure four. Carl Anderson in to break that up. Good Brothers go for a magic killer. Mox escapes that. Low bridges Gallows out. Sidesteps Anderson, so he goes crotch first into the corner. Kenny and Fenix are in. Fenix goes on a run, just taking out everybody, takes out the Good Brothers. Kenny tries to powerbomb him. He escapes. Fenix hits a super kick, sends Kenny into the corner, and then Pac is in there. He hits Kenny with a missile drop kick, and Fenix and Pac take out the Good Brothers with moonsaults to the floor. And I had seen Fenix do this before. So he goes to the top rope, does a moonsault, lands on his feet, and then rolls to a cutter on Kenny. That gets him a 2. Fenix does the bit where he's walking on the ropes. Kenny kicks Fenix, so he kind of is standing on the second rope, and then Kenny hits a snapdragon off the second rope. That looked nasty.
Yeah.
On Fenix, Gallows in. He hits a boot on Fenix, gets a 2 count. Pac tags himself in, hits Gallows with a bunch of kicks. Gallows responds with a boot of his own. Kenny is tagged in. He and the Good Brothers just go on a run, hitting a bunch of offense on Pac. They all send the faces from the ring. Omega hits some stiff, nasty powerbomb, and Pac gets a 2. Follows that with a V trigger, looks for the one-winged angel. Pac escapes that. And then Mox, Fenix are in. They start hitting Kenny with a bunch of moves. Pac hits him with a bridging German suplex for a 2 count. Mox backs in. He's looking for a sleeper. He releases to hit Anderson off the apron. Kenny goes for a snapdragon. Mox escapes that. Kenny hits a V trigger. Mox responds with a clothesline. Things break down. Huge fight happens. Fenix basically hits a suicide dive in the process. Almost like flies over the barricade.
He's trying to go through
Carl
it at this
Anderson.
point. He's trying to go through it at this point. Yeah.
The velocity.
Yeah. So then Kenny hits a paradigm shift on Mox. Pac hits a 450 on the pin attempt to break that up. Anderson goes for a gun stun on Mox. Mox counters with his own gun stun. And then Gallows and Anderson hit Magic Killer on Fenix for 3, so Bullet Club win. They beat up on Fenix and the others. Archer runs out to make the save, and then Mox is sort of crawling to Omega, and then Mox is attacked by Kenta, who puts him down with a GTS.
Oh, fantastic.
And he's standing there, and Kenny's got a big smile on his face, and Kenta exits as Kenny enters and puts his foot on Mox and raises his hand, and he's all looking at Kenta, but Kenta's not looking at him at all.
Oh, that's great.
And then, of course, as we mentioned on AEW's Twitter account, they posted video of Kenta telling Kenny to shut the fuck up outside, and Kenny turns to the camera and says, "Tony Khan, how about we book this match? Lights out. Me and Kenta.
Disqualification.
Me and my new brother Kenta." Me and my new brother Kenta.
So good.
Guy just told you to shut the fuck up and
That's
ran away.
so good. It's so good.
My new brother Kenta against Mox and Archer. So good for Archer. He's getting up there, back crawling his way back up to that scene. I love Archer. He's
Heck
great.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Let's answer some questions. Maxter of Puppets with the sub. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I got a question thread up here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Here we go. Gregory Fiella. Well, I don't really agree with that. He says, other than the main event, was this the most lackluster, underwhelming episodes of AEW? No, I thought it was actually pretty cool.
It's just the wedding bit was.
I mean, the wedding slowed it down, but otherwise
other than Sinister Minister saying kayfabing all others, the wedding really there was not much redeeming from that.
I like it more that you liked it so much.
And I didn't really like it that much. If it was in the midst of a good segment, I would not even mention it.
I thought it was so.
I
I popped loud. I thought it was funnier that Miro said, "My present is my power. Your present is my power." Nicholas Price with Kenta showing up on Dynamite. Who else from New Japan would you like to see show up?
Conceivably, we just have it would be New Japan talent that lives in the States, because that's kind of the situation we're in. Anybody who lives in Japan probably isn't going to happen given New Japan's schedule.
I mean, it'd be cool to see Rocky Romero because he's obviously,
and
part
I
of the
heard
Good Brothers
I
crew.
heard. I think someone in chat said so. I don't know if it's true that Jay White lives in the States. I don't know if that's true. Kenny mentioned him in that backstage thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So I don't know if he still lives in the States or not. I mean, his excursion was in Ring of Honor.
Unless it's to just check the shit out of Kenny, I don't know that I want Switchblade in AEW. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind him if the purpose is to check the shit out of Kenny. I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
but he's doing something very
given the history the two of them have.
Yeah,
you know. Oregon Grinder says Evil Uno challenged LIJ on Twitter. He did. That was pretty great.
That's pretty funny. Dog Authority figure number 1. Who will be the first AEW wrestler to have held the AEW, TNT, and tag titles?
I mean, at this point, you got to say Kenny. He's got 2 of the 3.
Yeah. It's Kenny. Totally Kenny. And number 2, he's got another question. Power rank. Who's got the best chops in AEW?
Eddie Kingston. Kenny.
Doesn't Pac have really powerful chops?
I think he's got a decent chop.
I think Pac's got a good chop.
I feel like it's Eddie and Kenny. Kenny's low key is a good chopper. He's got
Kenny
hands.
is a really Kenny is a really good chopper.
Hands.
It's probably Kenny, but it's kind of interesting now that this question comes up. They're not really known as a company big on big chops, Like they don't have any of the big choppers.
Eddie's a good chopper.
Eddie's a decent chopper.
It was Kenny's chest, I think. No, it was whose chest did he tear up? He tore up somebody's. It wasn't Kenny. It was somebody else's chest that he tore up with the chops.
It was Mox.
Might have been
probably
Mox. Might have been Mox. Haha Jackson to the friendo that gave me the 2 sweet in Rhinelander, Wisconsin today. Hello. And he left some bits. Thank
Hello,
you,
friendo. We'll pass those bits along. Let's see here.
Angel Uriel 1530 with a sub. Thank you very much.
Thayer Thabata, power rank inside the NBA videos for people who don't like basketball. All you got to do is watch Shaqton. Watch Shaqton around, where he just looks at all the JaVale McGee's in the world, the Lance Stevensons in the world, and clowns them. It's great.
Yeah.
Or when they ask Chuck, what team does this player play for? And then Chuck, it's all current NBA guys, and he doesn't know any of them.
Oh my gosh. Isolationville, Tomatonga on Twitter said this. Hey, Kenta, while you're at it, slap up Kenny O'Shega, middle-aged Bucks, Festus, and the other smallest Festus. And again, no need to thank us. # Bullet Club.
Tomatonga loves all this stuff.
Oh, he loves it. Loves it. Socks 819 the sub. Thank you so much.
D-Row Hayes says, do you think AEW, New Japan, and Impact can form a conglomerate to take on WWE? And would this force WWE to finally start having better stories to compete?
No. Don't force WWE to do anything.
They're not going to force WWE. They're like $1 trillion million company. They're not going to be forced to do anything.
No, the only thing they'll force WWE to do anything different is they start losing money. And they just signed a huge deal with NBC to put their pay-per-views on Peacock. They're not changing anything.
They're not doing nothing. They don't need bigger stars. Anything. They don't need better stories. They got all the money.
Because the only item that matters to them probably, or most of all, money, is through the roof right now. In their minds, they're like, oh, we're doing everything right.
Let's see what their market cap is right now. Let's see what the story of their market cap is.
Let's see.
Their market cap is $4.3 billion.
Yeah,
I think that's down from $4.4 billion though, Larson. But there's still
fluid situation, man. Fluid situation.
$4.3 billion.
It's a lot of money. Patrick Oliva, perfect timing with the New Japan announcement coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. Most likely U.S. TV deal.
Yeah. Ooh, who are they doing a deal with, Larson?
I don't know.
Where are you going to see else? Latest episode of Strong?
Wouldn't it be something else if they did? If TNT got New Japan and then whatever AEW's second or third hour is, that's like the Saturday afternoon wrestling block on TNT or TBS.
Be great. We'll be live every Saturday night. Unsolved Mysteries, AEW, New Japan, Strong.
Dr. Thunder with the subs says, when are we getting Ray Phoenix versus Darby Allin for the TNT title? I think that would be a great match. Ed Fry, it's just awesome to see that the wedding was their shoot wedding.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today, that was actually their wedding. Man, if they're just, that's a hell of a memory right there, man. You know?
Maybe once the pandemic, winds down, comes to an end, they'll have a reception and make it more like traditional wedding type thing,
I will bet you money hand over fist, the backstage, they had something, Tony Khan probably hooked up something super elaborate for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd have family there. I don't know. Maybe this was enough for them. What's wrong with
It
this?
could be. No,
why are you
nothing's
judging,
wrong
why are you
with it.
judging their wedding now?
I'm not judging their wedding.
Oh, that was a beautiful wedding.
It was lovely. But to have family, be
I'm
there
sure
and all that.
I'm sure they'll probably do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Juarez, how many ways are Darby and Janela going to find unique ways to die next week? Yeah, this could be pretty brutal.
Man, I know. Like, I don't think people are really, Darby and Joey Janela together. Maggie asks, 3 things or feuds you'd rather see Miro doing instead of the best man shtick.
As long as it leads to him destroying Kip and going on a massive run, then I'm fine with whatever he's doing now. Because there's so many, here's the thing.
Soccer player gimmick. He loves FIFA.
Soccer player. All right.
So he comes in, he's got a soccer kit going on.
He's coming out, he's dribbling the ball.
He's dribbling the ball, but he's not really good at it. Like, he's okay. It's like me dribbling a basketball. I'm decent.
He tries to do the heel kick from behind his leg.
Stan Van Gundy. Yeah, exactly.
Well, who is, honestly? You got Kyrie Irving and then Stan Van, the 2 best handles in the world.
And Doris Burke.
That's right.
I know. Yeah. She was she had a clipboard in one hand, dribble in the other hand, doing behind the back stuff.
Crazy. Stevens J, you think when Darby gets older, his dad Sting will let him paint all of his face?
Yes.
King Slater, how the hell did Joey get a title match? He's not been wrestling solo matches on AEW in ages.
You know why? It's because they saw him do commentary at Fight Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were very impressed by that. They're like, oh, man, that's right. We have Joey Janela under contract here.
Could be. Maybe Darby says, I want to have a match with Joey Janela. Maybe that works.
That could be. Hey, Tony, I want to wrestle Joey. I'm tired of doing this Sting thing because I never get to talk.
I'm tired of standing in the ring and being interrupted by Team Taz.
Right. Let's see here.
Maxter of Puppets, any chance Bullet Club is going to be as big as it used to be? Not right now.
No, probably not. But I don't know what their merch sells like. And although I guess that ever since Kenny and they started doing this stuff for the first time, according to Nick Jackson, I think, the first time in 2 years, Bullet Club shirts were #1 sellers again at Pro Wrestling Tees. But I mean, it's hard to capture that magic again. They were in Hot Topic. They were in Hot Topic. It's hard to capture that again. But that's not to say that they can't do more interesting stuff in New Japan than what they were doing during that time. I'm just trying to do something because before it started getting repetitive, I was really interested in the Cody aspect of the Darby Allin Sting alliance. Me too. I wonder what Cody's take on this whole Bullet Club thing is going to be. He's so away from it all.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably I got to try to get away from Impact. I tried to go away from New Japan.
And they bring me back in. Hellbringer Johnny, when I saw Miro punching Chuck's gift at the wedding, I was kind of hoping Chuck would go outside of the ring and hold up the broken wood pieces and say in a crying manner, "This was an arcade."
I know.
Funny.
I thought that was going to be the thing, too. I thought he was going to have fixed Fred or whatever they called that thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the thing.
That would have been a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Flats, Mox, and Omega in some stipulation or blood and guts match main event Revolution. Yeah, it'll be something.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Die Hard Homer.
So, hold on. Mikey Ruckus said on Twitter that it is essentially a new Bullet Club theme. So whatever Kenny and the Good Brothers came out to was a new song. I believe Mikey Ruckus does AEW's music.
Bullet Club. Die Hard Homer. Could the Impact New Japan partnership circle back around to blood and guts? Everybody wants blood and guts, man.
Why not?
I'm telling you, that's done with. They're never bringing back blood and guts.
Oh, don't say never.
It was a window of opportunity they had to make fun of a joke or to make fun of a thing that McMahon said, and that's done with. It's done with. They would have done it by now if they could. Or if they wanted to. One more question, then we're going to be done for the night.
All right.
John Elite says, isn't Kenta Moxley at New Beginning? It's at New Beginning in the USA, which is February 26th.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find this.
Die Hard Homer says, way to kill my dream, Steve. Sorry, Die Hard Homer. Listen, blood and guts is never going to happen. Not today.
It'll happen at some point.
Not tomorrow. Not ever.
I'm telling you, it'll happen at some point.
Because what are they going to do? What's the big deal? They say, oh, we're going to do it at Blood and Guts. And everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, that thing that you were going to do that didn't happen because of COVID. That's not going to happen, especially not now.
If there's a few that seems appropriate for it, heck yeah, they'll do it.
I mean, I'm not saying they won't do something similar, but why would they call it Blood and Guts?
I think that's what they wanted to call the match. That's why they want to call it the match.
I know. I feel like they can call it something more relevant. Kaufman says, but would they bring back gutting with sickles?
Well, they never had that in the first place.
Let's place a wager since you're so certain about this. In 5 years, by 2026, do you think Blood and Guts will have happened?
Yeah.
I'll bet you $100.
Okay.
It won't happen between now and 2026.
All right.
All right.
All right.
If it happens next year, I'll have to pay you $100.
Well, it happens within the next 5 years, they'll pay me $100.
Yeah, I know. All right. I'm good with that. $100.
All right. Good. Good.
I'll let go of $100. You can buy yourself a new pair of shoes. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully, you'll join us tomorrow at noon, 3 Eastern, for our NXT recap.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
right.
everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. On this day, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.